Alright folks, we're going to do draft 9, although technically this is draft 10 because I did an entire draft without recording it. Totally forgot. Well, I didn't forget to record, I did set up the recording, I just forgot to hit record. So I spent about an hour talking to myself, in effect. You can imagine there were some swearies said at the end of that hour. Okay. In terms of this booster pack, we have an Abrupt Decay foiled, no less, which is definitely going to be the pick here. Apart from the fact it's a viable card, it's also a very good card. Other things of note in this booster are Phantom General, he's always good for the Selesnya decks, and probably the next favourite card is Inaction Injunction, which I have to thank Canadian Waldo for pointing out to me just how good it is. I totally underrated this card, but it is Demon if you're in Azorius. So we're going to go ahead and take the Abrupt Decay and see what comes in the next booster. If you give me 2 seconds, I'm just going to shut my door. Right, what have we been past? Mana Bloom, this is just bad. Rogue's Passage, I played a live draft tonight at the local shop, and one of the guys was playing this. It was really effective with the Bloodfray Giant. It's not pickable at this stage. Blitzka weird, it's not bad. Explosive Impact's really strong if you're going red. Nothing really synergises well with my first pick, unfortunately. In terms of what I'm comfortable playing, I think we go with the RtR here. It's versatile, it fits into a lot of different decks, and unfortunately I think it's the strongest card in that pack, which is bad considering it's only pick 2. This is more like it. So Savage Surge is always a good combat trick. 2 mana for a +2/2 that untaps your guy, nothing wrong with that. Slime Molding is probably going to be the pick here, just because it's so versatile. You can draft this, or you can play this early, mid or late game, and it does whatever you need it to. You don't need to be running Selesnya to justify it, it fits quite well into Golgari as well. The Lobber Crew is playable, but you really have to have a lot of multicoloured spells, and at this stage of the draft, there's no guarantee that's going to happen. What else do we like in this pack? Espira Skywatch is okay. There are better 6 drops basically, there's better cards to be playing in turn 6. And it also puts me into another colour, so we're going to go with the Slime Molding here. We get a Treasured Find. I like this card. I expect to see it again before the draft is done though. We do not seem to be getting, maybe the boosters have just been bad, or maybe we're too early to tell, but I've not seen anything particularly great. There's nothing wrong with this guy. There's another Inaction Injunction. I can see me taking the Inaction Injunction here, because that's the second one I've been past. It might be a sign that Azorius is open. Do you know, if I'm seeing an RtR and an Inaction Injunction, I'm going to take that and we'll see how it goes. I'm not one for overcommitting to something too early, so I like to see what my options are. This guy is usually just look at this guy and consider him a 3-drop. That's all it is. The regenerate ability is nice if you can get it off, but really turn 6 Selesnya you want to be doing something other than regenerating a 3/2. I really don't rate this card at all. The Crosstown Courier. The Sweeper's bad. The only card I'm interested in here is the Trestle Troll, although Giant Growth has also got some value to it, but I want to take the Troll here. The Rites of Reaping, +3/+3 to I tell a lie, we'll take the rights because it's uncommon. We're more likely to see another Trestle Troll. What are we looking at going into here? Definitely something with green. If we're going into black-green, this is a possibility. Or we could just take the aerial predation. Yeah, I'm going to take aerial predation because I know I definitely want to be playing green, I just don't know what colour I'm pairing it with. Okay, the crocodile is probably the pick here. Search other ones. I'm sure there is a deck somewhere that this combos with. I don't know if it's in modern or vintage, but I am sure this is a broken card somewhere. Okay, if we are siding with black, the Jailbreaker is not a terrible pick. Yeah, we're going to take the Jailbreaker. This is again back to the first pack. The packs have really not been particularly good so far. I guess we can take this. Really grudge paying 8 mana for this card. But, you know, the blue or the red is totally useless to me, so we're going to have to take it. Oh my god, the Savage Sword wheeled. Another Horncaller. It's not going to see a space in my deck, so we're going to take the red guy. And again, I'm more likely to come up against this Dynacharge than I am the Heroes Reunion. Life gain is totally overrated. That being said, I am running 3 Tristani in my standard main deck, just for the life gain. Let's just be bold and go ahead and say hide red, shall we? Another problem we have here is that I have 3 creatures. Really need to get some strong stuff in packs 2 and 3. Otherwise this will be a very quick 8-4. Okay. The counter flux we're not interested in. Not an awful lot here, to be honest. I mean, first pick will possibly be the Golgari Longlegs. I actually think this is a stronger pick, although I have next to no white. Yeah, we're going to go with RtR here and hope to build a either Selesnya deck or an Azurius deck. Ooh, now this pack's interesting. So we could get another Slime Molding, or we could get the Justicar, or the Centaur Healer. So this is actually a really good pack for us. Now, in terms of strength, the Detain mechanic is awesome, but then having 2 of these would be equally awesome if I could get the Populate mechanic going. I'm going to go with the Justicer just now, because I've got a pretty solid Detain base so far, and this just builds on that. So unfortunately we'll wave goodbye to the Slime Molding, because I'm fairly certain it's not going to wheel. So we've got lots of Detain guys now. It looks like we're probably not going to go into black. I don't really want to commit too heavily to blue either, because I don't know if you watched Draft, it was either 7 or 6, but I went quite heavily into 3 colours and it just did not work out for me. So I'm either going to take a green or a white card here. As nice as this is, I'm relying too much on drawing the right mana. So the Cellar of Songbirds is strong in that it produces 2 creatures for the price of 1, and it gives me a token to start populating. If we can get the cards for it, I'm going to go with the Cellar here. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I am making all the wrong choices and only realising it after I get the next booster. In terms of value, what is the stronger card here? Precinct Captain or the Sky Knight? They're both phenomenal. This guy is a flyer that detains, which is excellent, and this guy makes tokens. That being said, you have to have a way to get them through. Oh, I'm going to need to go 3 colours here. If this guy keeps passing me Azuri's stuff, I'm going to need to start taking it. Right. So the Judge's Familiar is relatively, it's a relatively viable pick. It's a 1/1 for 1 that flies. There's nothing wrong with that. It's also got the opportunity to counter an instant or sorcery. The brush size there is okay. You know, he's not terrible. If you drop him on turn 2 and your opponent doesn't have a 2-drop, then you're getting him for 3 damage. That, and he also trades up, so I can potentially swap him for one of my opponent's 3-drops or 4-drops. The only other card that's interesting in this pack is the Avenging Arrow, but I think we'll go with the Brush Strider here. Right, before I pick anything else, I'm going to suss out what sort of curve I'm looking at here. I think it's primarily 2 and 3 drops, which is fine. It's just not getting played. So I'm mainly green. I think the pick here is probably the Axebane Guardian. I know it's a 0/3 wall in effect, but the mana generation, you jump from 3 to 5 and it's mana fixing, so if I'm going to be running 3 colours, which I think at this stage I am, then he's good at getting the colour that I'm missing. So an Armory Guard or another Cellar of Songbirds. I mean, potentially we could take this and have it in a sideboard in case we come up against something nasty, but the chances are I'll see another one. The Armory Guard, I think, is the pick here. He's just a solid defender, even with or without a Guild Gate. The Soul Teeth, this is good in that it slows down my opponent. It puts him on some difficult decisions relatively early on, so we're going to take this guy. Common Bond gives me another combat trick. This guy again, if you can drop him, he's strong. I don't mind having this guy at the top of my curve. The Hexproof guy is strong. I think Common Bond is stronger though, so we're going to take that. The pick here is going to be my vanilla 3/2 guy. This Savage Surge has wheeled again. This is obviously underrated. I think this is a strong card. Tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's not as strong as I think it is. We'll take the Deliverance, although I can't see me running 2 of them. I'm surprised to see this guy here as well. There's a possibility that no one else is Golgari. would play the Axebane Stag if I was very desperate. We would not play Chronic Flooding in any circumstance. And we get a Cyclonic. Oh, this is a difficult pack. Cyclonic Rift is obscene, especially if you can get the overload cost. It's ridiculous. It just destroys the opposition. It's going to get picked here. It has to get picked here. The security blockades, it's another good token producer. I don't have many populate mechanics, so we're not kind of hard and fast into the Selesnya guild, and I'm saying that in kind of inverted commas because there's different ways to draft the deck. You don't necessarily need to have the populate mechanic. We've got the Courser's Accord, which is a good common, and another Arrestor, which I don't think you can ever have too many of these guys. But the Cyclonic Rift is definitely going to be the pick here. We got a Blood Crypt, which is, I think these are going for about 5 or 6 tickets, so it's a relatively valuable card. With that being said, I think I have a playset of them at this point, so I'm not in love with it. The decoys, you know, it's pretty strong, it gets me damage through it. There's another Arrestor. I'm probably not going to see another decoy though. Yeah, we're going to take the decoy here. So we're looking at a Fairy Imposter, which there's probably a deck out there that loves this card, but I don't think it's mine. Although that being said, he does pair well with a lot of the guys that detain, or even the guys that make tokens when they come into play, but he's another blue card and I only want to be splashing blue, so playing a minimal amount of it. So my options here are Cellar of Songbirds, the Drudge Beetle, or the Ethereal Armour. I'm probably leaning towards the Cellar because it's 2 creatures for 1, and it's a 3-drop rather than a 2-drop, which by the looks of things I'm quite heavy in just now. So we're going to take the Cellar of Songbirds. We've got in here Cryptborn Horror, who in one of the games I played was a 10-10 trampler, against me I might add. We've got an Augur Spree, which is not been picked up yet. We got a Bloodfray Giant, which has not been picked up yet. These are horrible cards to get played against me. We got a Gatekeeper Vine, who lets me maybe fetch an island if I want it, or the wee combat trick. I think we take the Gatekeeper Vine, although I am tempted to hate draft this or this. But let's be nice. I bet that's going to come back to me. That's what I'm going to lose to in game 1. So we got a Slitherhead, a Rubbleback Rhino, or the Chorus of Night. I think the Slitherhead, you know, I'm not in love with this guy. This is very situational. No, in fact, I'm going to take the Chorus of Night because I can cast it on my guys that have got flying. Oh, I hate to pass this. That's a clear indication that no one's playing Golgari. I'm way too late to. I'm not splashing another colour for black for the sake of this card, but she is very strong. The pick here is probably the Arrestors. or this guy. I think we take the arrestor here. Yeah, we've got the option of that guy here too. In fact, he's going to be the pick here. Excuse me. Again, the Hexproof guy I'm really not in love with. Yes, he can't be targeted with removal, but he can still be blocked, and unless you've got a way to pump him up significantly, which I suppose I've got the Common Bond and the Chorus of Might, but even at that it doesn't give him trample. Whereas this guy's got evasion, he's a 3-3 and he detains, so there's really nothing wrong with him. We can take the Apparition for enchantment destruction, or the Arrow. I really don't have any removal, so it's probably going to be the Arrow at this point. Now that we're going to go with the enchantment destruction, we're probably need half the 2 drops, and I'll quite happily take a set of arrestors. There's the Fairy Imposter, but we're not going to, well yeah, I might as well pick him, there's nothing else there for me. The Common Bond, I guess we take the guy that shoots me. Come on guys, it's not that complicated at this stage. Alright. Alright. No. And we'll finish with a forest. Right, so let's make this deck. These guys are definitely going in, this is definitely in, that can go on the sideboard, like this. In terms of blue, this is definitely in, this is definitely in, this is definitely in. The Action Injunction could get put in, but I do have 4 of the arrestors for the detain mechanic, so I think we're going to skip them for the time being. Let's do the Savage Sword. Yep, that's a sideboard card. Yes, okay, okay. And a Slime Moulding, so that's us up to 22 with space for 1 more. So what's our options here? Really, I think this is the only one that I'm interested in putting in, or maybe a Common Bond. No, I think it's got to be the Stag, to be honest. I don't really have anything particularly powerful. Like, most of them are 2/2s or 3/2s. Granted, some of them have got evasion, but I really just need a big guy. So that's the deck as it stands. Yes, I agree with that mana. And we'll run with it. Really looking to kind of lock down the other guy's deck and get some some early damage in, lots of early damage in. I'm playing much more combat tricks in this deck than I usually run in any other deck, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully it works. Next to no removal though, so I'll be really looking to trade off creatures. But yeah, I'll see you for game 1.